world is a stage. Are you watching? Are you caught up in the world and in the show that they putting on? Because everything out here is for show. Role models, they for show. Actors, musicians. The world is a stage. Shout out to Kyrie for saying what he said. And all the rest of the ones that's out there speaking that truth, that real shit. Letting people know that the world is a stage. Stop following these Hollywood weirdos. Stop following these musicians. Stop doing it. You keep following these athletes and these people out here that so-called celebrities. They gonna send your ass off. Y'all know that guy, the whole T-app, the T-app. You know the guy that made the T-app is a guy. It's not a woman that made the app called the T-app. It's actually a guy. It's a European hybrid. Don't y'all realize that app was only created to cause division within the so-called black community? Don't y'all realize this? You playing digital warfare now. This is what it is now. It's digital warfare. Share this beam out. And let me know where y'all tuning in from. Peace and love to all the Moors, the Muslims, all y'all Asiatics out there. It's up. All these apps, all these different things that they got on social media is to generate chaos. It's to generate confusion. It's to generate people to just be talking, to stay online to get their energy sucked and drained out. That's what these apps is for. So the whole entire thing about the T-app, the dude that created the app worked for the feds. Hey, I just saying something. Speaking of the world as a stage, I just seen a chick online. She's on welfare. Show you how wild people is. They have no kind of cognitive nothing. The chick is on the app, posting on social media. Now, mind you, she on welfare. She bought a $100,000 Lamborghini. And then she sick because she got caught. Why are you on welfare and you buying a $100,000 Lamborghini? And you think that the people ain't gonna find out? Don't you know that these apps is all ran by the 3-letter people? The CIA, the feds, all of them, they monitor these apps. A $100,000 car. And you sick because you got caught. You posted on social media. This how a lot of y'all be getting caught out there. Y'all think that ain't nobody watching. Everybody's watching. Just because you might not have traction on your page, don't mean somebody can't see that in the algorithm. And then now you wondering why them people on you. Fam, you gotta watch everything on social media because the world is a stage. You got people out here trying to live outside their means to impress strangers that don't even give a damn about you. You trying to impress strangers online around the world who don't even know you and don't even care to know you. Because in real life, your character is probably just trash and all you care about is green pieces of paper. Diabolical. People nowadays have become so infatuated with putting on the show for total strangers just to get clicks, follows, and views, and likes. You want to be liked by the world for material shit. Not your character, your quality, the type person you are. Just material fake shit. And the whole time, you probably rent the cars you drive. You probably rent the jewelry that you wear. You probably rent the crib that you in. You don't even own that shit. This is what society is today. Because the world is a stage and they not realizing the game. You ain't realizing the game, fam. I'm gonna show y'all something. I just found out today that in Chicago, and the rat. They out here, they finna introduce this crooked May out here. He finna be on some, we're gonna use the camera system about digital surveillance. He talking about he gonna use the camera system now to charge people if they outside past a time that they think ain't nobody supposed to be outside. This is in Chicago though. This is what they talking about on the news right now. He's gonna introduce a digital surveillance system where they say if you outside or driving past a certain time, they're gonna track your face, facial recognition. They're gonna track your license plate, and they're gonna send a ticket to your house, to your apartment. Diabolical. This is what they trying to introduce. Whole time, when I was out there in New York, shout out to everybody out there in NYC, they already got something out there like that. If you drive out there past it, they call it population tax. Population tax? They charging people to be outside, literally. They send you a ticket if it's too many people on the road driving. They send you a ticket to your house. This is the shit that's really going on. But again, the world is a stage though. People so caught up in being seen, clicks, likes, and follows and views. The morality is out the window. The morality is out the window. Link up with people that's like-minded, that's on the same type wave that you on. They got principles, they got integrity, they got good character. You feel me? They got a purpose. They driven. You ain't got to drag them to get to no destination. Link up with like minds like that. Cause it's toe off out here. It is toe off. Complete strangers seek validation from complete strangers. Speaking of strangers, the chicks that's out there, look, the chicks that's out there, something I seen yesterday that was crazy. We just talking today though. We just building. The chicks that's out here, that's on social media, that people be glorifying. I just found out some real disturbing information. We just building. A lot of these so-called IG model chicks and chicks on X and whatnot, fam, it's diabolical. The chicks that be like, fly me out, they get flown out to Dubai. Do you know what they doing out there? It's an entire rabbit hole. With the chicks that take them trips to Dubai, fam, I'm talking about insane. What they gotta do to get a bag out there in Dubai. Just Google model chicks going to, or Google model women going to Dubai. When they get flown out there, diabolical. They gotta do defecation in the mouth. They gotta do getting pissed on. They gotta do some of the most diabolical shit you can ever imagine just to get a bag. They'll get them a Birkin bag. They'll get them their trip out there. They'll get them luxury cars. They'll give them Fiat. But they got to get defecated on. It's insane though. But look, the world is a stage. You got people that want to be on the stage. They want to have the fame, the fortune, the glory, and it never lasts though. It never lasts. Never. Y'all see the movies? The people that be working for the dark side, they do all this dirty work to people, and they trying to run a bag up, but they never keep the bag. Never. They do all this grimy shit to people, and they never keep the bag, but they chasing the bag though. See, that's where you talk about the book Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. See, the industry got people mesmerized, hypnotized, and they monetize the trauma. This is what the industry do. They mesmerize you, they monetize you, and they drain all your currency, all your precious energy. They drain that. That's all they do. They monetize trauma. That's all they do it for. They draining your energy. Speaking of the world as a stage, have you ever seen this right here? Look at this. Have you ever seen this right here? From the book, Moral Volume 1 and 2. You ever seen this right here? Check it out. Check this out. We're going to scroll down to this right here. This right here. This is where we want to be at right here. Directive number 15. Race and ethnic standards for federal statistics. This finna blow your mind. It says, this directive provides standard classifications for record keeping, collection, and presentation of data on race and ethnicity in federal program administrative reporting and statistical activities. Hold on, wait. Nah, keep in mind, this is the U.S. corporation, the Fed, okay, which we know is de facto from ab initio. So it's not an actual living entity. It's not government. This right here that we looking at right here is called an ens legis. It's a creature. It's not dealing with we the people. So anytime you see USA, US, anything like that, think of artificial. All right. The republic is we the people. So this right here is a democracy, which is anti-constitutional. But watch this though. This where it get crazy at. It says these classifications should not be interpreted as being scientific or anthropological in nature. What? What? Why is this important? This is important because when you think about why is what's happening? Our people are the weakest in history, the weakest in civics, and the weakest in law. Let's just keep it 100. We got to stop being real with shit. All right. All that I feel like, all that I don't want to tell you because if I tell you, I'm going to hurt your feelings. We got to get past that shit. We got to stop giving out passes. That's one thing that plague our people. We give out way too many passes. You got rappers up here with tattoos on their thighs with Daisy Dukes on. Like, what? You see the agenda that being pushed? But again, the world is a stage, though. You got Daisy Dukes on and you a dude with thigh tattoos on. This shit is out of control. It's out of control out here, fam. And then you got niggas that's like, nah, that's cool. They used to dress like that back in the day. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? They used to dress like that. You got niggas saying they used to dress like that back in the day. So what you think, they was cool then? So you think it was cool then because they doing it now? No, sir. That shit dead. Super dead. So look, whole time, you see the agenda? Because the world is a stage and people love to be entertained. But see, look at this. Right. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Because the law governs all events. And because people love to be entertained, they willing to give somebody passes. And you know that shit dead. That shit is against all morality. That shit is against everything that's pure. Would you want your son to put Daisy Dukes on and start twerking? Looking ass. Hell no. You won't want your son or your daughter wearing that shit. Look, the female rappers, look, man, the agenda that they pushing for all these up and coming female rappers, they want all these so-called female rappers to be strippers. Either she on the pole or she stripping on the microphone. That's it. That's what the industry, that's what they pushing. You see the agenda. You see? They push that gangster drug rap shit in the 90s and the 2000s, right? Then, Now, they pushing the stripper music, the slut music for the chicks to turn into degenerates. Ain't no more old school shit like Lauryn Hill. That's over with. Ain't no Lauryn Hill. Ain't none of that. That's bad for business. They got to get these chicks to get turned out earlier and earlier. On my mama. This is what they doing. They're on God more. They are pushing. Nah, ain't no more Sade. Oh, no. Sade? Cold. Ain't no more of that no more. That frequency, energy, and vibration in 2025 and beyond, if you let the industry just let it go how it going, they want deaf, dumb, and blind people out here on the global scale. Everybody's being entertained by slut rap, entertained by drug shit. As far as it ain't even no good bars. I mean, the bars ain't even on some. You feel me? They ain't even on that. It just get on the microphone, just say the most diabolical shit you could say. That type shit. That shit terrible, garbage. And that's what the industry pushing. You see? Nah, ain't no more Queen Latifah. Nah, ain't no more none of that. Nah. When the last time on the side note, when the last time you heard a female on the microphone? It's a few of them. Like that. Where you like, damn, she got bars. Nah, all they do is put a stripper outfit on, turn around, twerk, yell in the microphone, say some quotes that she ain't even write herself. What's up now? Say some quotes she ain't even write herself. That's what the industry is. Just like this, because the world is a stage. Look at this. Remember, keep in mind, race and ethnic standards for federal statistics. Now, when you think about race, this is another thing why you say the world is a stage. The word race is a creation. Race is a creation. Google this guy named Johann Blumenbach. Google that guy. Johann Blumenbach was one of the many inventors, like Edward Bernays. They invented the term race, as in white, black, Indian, red, brown. They invented that. So now it's that shit on steroids now. Because race is the human race. So you would say the Asiatics and Muslims. That's what you would say is race. Your race is Asiatic. That's the race. Because that's the people on the planet. The Moors, right? Then you got the pale-skinned Europeans. You only got 2 nations on this planet. And day by day, you starting to see everything that the U.S. corporation got put in front of us. Like, yeah, y'all need to follow this person, that person. They all work for the U.S. corporation. They all crumbling right now because the U.S. corporation crumbling right now. And then you got people that's fighting. You got people that's literally protesting and fighting to keep the corporation alive. So when they out here yelling, immigrants need to go home. How come y'all ain't looking at these pale-skinned Europeans? Nah, cause you going too far. You going too far now. You going too far, cuz. You going too far now. The first people y'all need to be yelling out about being immigrants and getting out of here is the European hybrids. That's the first people that y'all need to be saying that's immigrants. Y'all forgot? The dude that's on the oatmeal box? You forgot about him? The dude on the oatmeal box, man. The Quaker Oats guy. You forgot? You forgot about him? They came over here as pilgrims and slaves. And y'all out here calling them Americans. And on top of calling them an American, you calling them a white person. Which mean noble. Wow. You talk about the world is a stage. Look at this right here. Remember how I said Google this guy named Johann Blumenbach, Frederick Bernays, Edward Bernays. Look at what they got. They got all different American Indian, see? Asian Pacific Islander, see? It is Hispanic. There's no such thing as Hispanic people. See? Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, people from Central and South America, they're not Hispanic. They're Taino. They're Arawak. That's who they are. They're Moorish people. They're not Hispanic or Latino. See? But again, if you go right here, this is for the utilization for record keeping and reporting. And it tells you right here. Eh? These classifications should not be interpreted as being scientific or anthropological in nature. None of these classifications are natural. They're not based off nature. There is no Hispanic people or Hispanic land. These are all Moorish people. You talk about Tainos. You talking about Trinidadians, Belizeans, Bajans, Mexicans, Honduran people. You feel me? Haitian people. You all talking about the same people, which are Moorish people. See? But then you got this right here. Now I want you to pay close attention to this right here. Now look what they got for white. Watch this. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, North America, or the Middle East. Now, before your emotions start going haywire, before your emotions start going haywire with this right here. Now remember, this right here, right? Okay. Now look again at the word white. This is not my words, fam. This is from the Race and Ethnic Standards for Federal Statistics, Directive number 15. Don't forget, they always say the world is a stage, right? But you got to look behind the curtain. See, when you start getting this knowledge, this Moorish science, when you start getting this knowledge, you supposed to start using discernment. So you supposed to start judging. But you want to judge righteous stuff. You don't want to just be out here just blanking at people on some just, you got biases. Nah, it's either positive or negative. You want to judge, but judge righteously. Just like the scriptures tell you. You feel me? So when you look at the definition, their definition of white, it say what? It say what? Any person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. What? Shout out to St. Louis. Then you saying like, wait a minute. Who are the original people of Europe, North Africa, and then the Middle East? Don't forget, there is no Middle East. The Middle East does not exist. See, this is how you know everything that the U.S. corporation that taught us in schools is cap. This is another reason. This is another bullet point. Because you will have something like this. How you gonna have something called the Middle East? What direction is that? Yeah. What direction is Middle East? What direction is Midwest? What direction is that? Nigga, it's either north, south, east, or west. It ain't no Middle East. It ain't no Midwest. The maps is turned upside down. Everything turned inside out. So when you talk about the Middle East, that's Western Asia. It's no Middle East. That's Western Asia. Look at old maps. The old maps gonna tell you the story. The old maps. Pick up the book When Rocks Cry Out. Pick up that book. Fire. Fire. They got old maps of Gondwana land. They got the old maps up there. They got the maps that cost millions of dollars in that book and other books. But that's just one of them. Right. What's Middle South? What's Mid South? Like what direction is that? So whole time when they like the original people of Europe, North Africa, y'all remember how they talk about Pangea? right? Pangea, how the whole world was connected. That part is true. But see, they lie and tell the truth at the same time. That's why you got to become a Moorish scientist. You got to be able to dissect this shit. So when they talk about Pangea, the whole planet was connected. So since the entire planet used to be connected, and then it broke apart, you have something like North Africa is Northwest Amexum, which is North America, Central America, South America. See that? And Hawaii and all of the Caribbean islands, all y'all Moorish Americans. Ding, 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 ding. All of y'all are Moorish Americans. But see, to keep the game going, the division going, they got to keep playing the game. Tell the truth, but lie more times than you tell the truth. This is their game. They'll tell the truth, but they lying more than they telling the truth. So it's all buried in lies since kindergarten. Now imagine that. You 20-something, you 30-something right now. You 40-something, you 50-something, you 60-something. Imagine getting beat in your head with a little bit of truth, but more lies since kindergarten. Since kindergarten, my nigga? Now imagine that. And then when somebody come to you and they speak in this kind of vibration, this type energy, this frequency, imagine how much sifting you got to do. Imagine how much that's going to really like tweak your mind out, because you've been getting lied to since kindergarten. Damn. Imagine the kind of response that you're going to get when somebody tell you that you not a black person and they not white people. And they're not Latinos and they're not Hispanic. Imagine your mind after hearing something like that, but since kindergarten, you've been getting capped too. See? That's why with some people, it take them a long time. Some more than others. So they hear something. You say you've been questioning shit since 7. On God. It takes some people more than others that'll be like, they tired of the nonsense. They really want to find out answers. You see? And this is the thing though. The original North Africa is North America, because the word Africa itself is a Latin word. It's not African. The word Africa is a Latin word. It's not a Roman word. It's Latin. Latin, just like this. Just like this. All right, pick up this book, The Consecrated Talisman. Fire. So the word Africa itself means the terrain. That's what Africa means. Africa is modern and contemporary. So North America is Northwest Africa, the Northwest Gate. That's what Africa is over here in North America is, the North Gate. The South Gate is South America. Then when you talk about, well, why does everybody from around the world want to come to America? Because America is where it's at. That's why everybody from around the world want to come here. America, despite whatever everybody else talking about, that come over here that's a foreigner to our land, America is where it's at. So the very word Africa is a mix. Yeah. You ready for this one? The very word Africa itself, it's really a 2-part word. The word Africa is a 2-part word. It's a mix of America and a Mexum. It's a 2-part word. That's why everybody over here is mixed over here. And this is where the ones, they don't even know how old our DNA can trace back to. They don't even know. Scientists don't even know how old our DNA can trace back to. That's how long we've been here. Exactly, boy. The North Gate. The AME. See? The AME and the RICA. This is where you get the word America from. It's a mix of Amexem and Africa together. So they tied up like this. They don't even know how old we are. Oh God, whole time, you know what? They probably got a real good idea how old we are. Moors over here, Moorish Americans. They ain't gonna say it though. They ain't gonna say it because that's bad for business. That's bad for their business. Their business is this type shit right here. Where they like, you know what? We're gonna make race. We're going to make the American Indian, the Alaskan Native, the Asian, the Pacific Islander. We're going to make black and white, and we're going to make up ethnicity and Hispanics and not Hispanic origin. We're going to cook that up. That's what they get out like. See, there's no such thing as Hispanic people. There's no such thing as Latino people. There's no such thing as American Indian. There's no such thing as none of that. See, directive number 15. See that? Directive number 15. Race and ethnic standards for federal statistics. You're not a black woman. You're not a black man, Jay. They got you they got you in the cobra clutch, fam. But see, whole time, the longer they keep you in that cobra clutch, the longer they could drain your battery, which is your soul, your spirit. They could just keep draining you. They'll just be on you like this. Listen, we gonna tell them what we tell them. And the more they believe it, the more they be lied to, they don't care. So watch this right here. Look at this. We gonna go to the consecrated talisman, right? Check it out. We talking about, look at that, 159. What it say? This right here. It say, in order to understand more about the ancient Moabite documents of America, we must first seek to comprehend more about the various ancient Semitic and Hamitic tongues, languages, dialects, and their family character, hieroglyph similarities. The Semitic from the sons of Shem, from which the name Semitic comes from, found in Genesis chapter 10, verse 11. Hold on. Do you hear what's going on? Do you hear what's going on? So you talking about the so-called Hebrews that's out here. First of all, Hebrew is a language. It ain't a bloodline. It's a language. The ones that call themselves Israelites, that's a tribe that linked up with Moors back in the day. All those is Moors. So they out here banging against each other the whole time. They really the same people. They just cousins. Check it out. It say, namely Ashur, from whence Ashuric, which became Assyric, which became Syritic, which became Arabic, was birthed. And Aram, from whence Aramic comes, and Eber, the sons of Shelah, whom are all Moorish. So you heard the word before, right? Aramaic. You know the so-called Jesus, who was really Yahushua, he didn't speak what you think he spoke. He spoke Aramaic. Aramaic is a sister language of Arabic. So you thinking that the pale-skinned people was the ones that's out here, like you say, like when you go like to Dunkin' Donuts or some type shit, or you go to the gas station type shit. You think them pale-skinned Arabs in there is the first Arabs, right? Cap. That means the first Arabs. Arab, the word Arab means somebody that lives on the sand, like a sand dweller. So the Arabs is us. Because who's the first ones moving around on this planet? Remember, the world is a stage, fam. See, the lie's been so thick for generations, you would think like, man, everything they told us in school was some real shit. No, sir. Fam, we talking about 12 years of programming. 12 years of programming. It's a long time. So look at this. See this? They was all Moorish though. Hold up. They was all Moorish. See? Aramaic. That's what that language is. Look. And contrary to popular opinion, Aramaic is older than Arabic. Let's go right here. Look. See these languages right here? Look. Look at these languages. We talking about real languages, fam. These are the languages, some of them, that we created. It says, these are the parents of many Semitic dialects, namely Ugaric, Chaldean, Syriac, Akkadian, Phoenician, Moabite, Uranic, Hebrew, Aramic, Assyric Arabic, Sumerian, Ge'ez, Amharic, and even Farsi, Persian, coming from the language of Elohim. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. See where we going? You see where we going? See what we doing? This bridging the gap, fam. The ones that's out here telling you, you a black man, you a black woman, they keeping you in a box. They keeping you in a cubicle. And you see what's happening? To old boy that's out here pushing that Pan-African bullshit. You see what's happening with him? He ain't finna be the only one. They closing the accounts on all these frauds that's out here telling you that you a Pan-African, you an Indian or a black person. This shit falling, fam. All they little games and they fool shit, they shit dead now. The Moors is where it's at. Your birthright and your inheritance is where it's at. Why you think they don't talk about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali like that? Why you don't think, out of all the people that's out here pushing that pro-black bullshit, why they don't talk about Noble Drew Ali? Huh? They got videos, but they ain't gonna show them though. Why? All they talk about is Marcus Garvey. That's all they talk about. Malcolm X. That's all they talk about. Why they don't bring up the Prophet Noble Drew Ali? Because Noble Drew Ali was the key to link us back to our Moorish birthright and inheritance. It's only the 1920s. You think they ain't got that video? They got videos of a whole other gang of shit. You ain't got no videos of the Prophet? Why not? Yeah, you ain't got no videos of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali? Come on, fam. Don't buy that shit. Don't buy that shit, gang. They got videos of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So just think, out of all the people that was out here talking about liberation, the only one that was out here talking about nationality and birthright, studying civics, law, history, medicine, etc., was Noble Drew Ali. Why don't nobody talk about him? Why is it such a hush hush when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali name come up? Think about it, Moors. The Prophet told us, if y'all Moors would start thinking again, you would save yourself. That's all we got to do is start thinking again. Get out of the whole ego trip where you like, I went to college. I went to school. I'm good. Yeah. You think so, right? You think so. But if you was, though, then why the drama then? Why so much chaos? Why is it? Why? Let me just ask y'all something. If all these black organizations really was for us, how come they ain't fix nothing? Just a question. It's just a question. If all these so-called black organizations was really about that business, why they ain't fix nothing? The latest was BLM. They got fraud problems right now because they done stole $100 million, $90 million. Where that bread at? Huh? You gone? Yeah. All right. See? You got Moors everywhere. See? And fam right there, talk to him all the time. He from Jordan, over there on the other side. He's from Jordan. I was just talking to him before I kicked off this beam out. And he telling me how everybody want to come over here to the Americas. He said he came over here when he was 10. He said his father just grabbed them up, the whole family. We going to America. See? Everybody want to come over here. Don't fall victim to these crisis actors because the world is a stage. Do you really think the people want to show the real story? They've been milking for years, for generations. They've been milking people with trauma because they mesmerize, they monetize trauma. So if they could keep the population of humanity, especially Moorish people who keep misidentifying as black people and African Americans and Indians, if they could keep us in a trauma mindset, they could keep monetizing off our trauma. That's what they've been doing. Look. Then you come right over here. Check this out. Hold on. Where is that? Where is it at? I'm going to read y'all this real quick. How much time I got before I move around? Right here, fam. You looking for answers, right? Looking for answers? Okay, hold on. It say the geopolitical significance and linguistic diagnosis of the nomen Moor according to Euro-American English usage, right? It says, though perhaps one of the most crucial disciplines of this publication, we have by divine instruction chosen to bestow light, science, and wisdom on the grammatical topic in question of this word Moor. Everybody want to know what Moor is, right? It says, in its English usage, it say, to better comprehend the trenchant placement and rank amidst the conscripted geopolitical commercial divisions of the earth, who would by the greatest acts of prestidigitation and a German silver artifice refers to themselves as nations. However, the people or inhabitants of these lands simultaneously allowing themselves to be identified by designative soil nomenclature. See that? We talking about the Syrians, the Egyptians, Egypt. All of that's in the Americas. Look, all of that's in the Americas. These are so-called American Indians over here. See that? At their powwows. See? Look what they got on their head, though. They got turbans on their head. Now, these are so-called American Indians. Question, why are the so-called American Indians wearing Moorish turbans? Why? Why are the so-called American Indians, why y'all wrapped up in turbans? You see? See, everybody playing the game against our people. Everybody playing the game. Let's go a little further, though. What it say? It say, these are the holy fluid of man. See? Manifest her or himself by blood and free national name. He says, how in truth does this knowledge factor in, or even for that part, take precedence above any other business of these would-be nations, the people thereof and their official heads? So how does this knowledge of us being Moors, what does that do? What's the significance of us not claiming black and Indian, Native American? What's the significance of that? All those are good questions. Let's get to it. Let us ask ourselves, while we give very strong consideration to the aforementioned, what exactly does this mean to Moors in general, and of course, more specifically, to or for Moorish Americans? We have to so conclude that this question may be best answered through an intense scientific investigation and linguistic analysis of the said Euro-American English interpretation or definition of Moor. Shall we commence? Very well then. In the viewing the overwhelming documentary evidence we see on page 469 of Webster's Encyclopedia, 1942 Time Machine, it says Moor is defined as pertaining to the Moors or Saracens. Great. So now we turn to page 643 of the same publication, and we see that Saracen is Latin, See that? See, look, Latin, Greek, Arabic is defined as Orientals, Easterners, or Asiatics. Bing bong. Also, an Arabian or very important other Muslim or Muslim, Mohammedan or more of the early proselytizing period by medieval writers. So you got the Muslim, Mohammedan or more, Arabian, see, Saracen, Asiatics or Orientals. Orientals. This is why you have our people over here in the Americas with so-called chinky eyes. How many people you know right now called China? Yeah. How many people you know right now called Asia? Huh? Do you see what's going on? Fam, let's keep going. Y'all want to keep going? Let's go a little bit more. Look, so it say this right here. It says page 301 of the New Encyclopedia Britannica. It says Moor in the English usage is defined as a term in hold on, what did it say? Defined as a term denoting any Muslim in general. What? This is from the New Encyclopedia Britannica. Moor in the English usage is defined as a term denoting any Muslim in general. Didn't the Prophet Noble Drew Ali say we were Muslims and Asiatics? Noble Drew Ali never called us Muslims. He never did that. He always referred to the Moorish Americans as Muslims in America. Let's go. What did it say? Because I'm finna slide. So it say, as in the case of the Moors of Sri Lanka, Ceylon, or of the Philippines. The Philippines, the word naturally deriving from the Moorish Latin mori. We find confirmation of this when we return to the Webster's Encyclopedia Dictionary, 1942, page 778, for the definition of Turk, which states a native or inhabitant of Turkey, hence a Mohammedan, Moor. This interpretive English denotation is corroborated by author Budget Meakin in his 1902 publication. He say, the Moors, a comprehensive description. A comprehensive description showing that Moor comes from the Moabite, Phoenician, and Canaanite, and Hebrew, Moor or Mahur. In addition, he also points out that Moors are not only Mohammedans or Muslims in the context of the religion Islamism, but that all Orientals are Moors, of whom were also called Moormen, and further that this description, metopakalosopy, was of those people referred to as Native American or North American tribes, so-called Indians. Yeah. What? So all y'all out there going hard, repping for the so-called Indian name, you've been bamboozled. You've been led astray. They told you that Indian was the actual real thing. But in its reality, it's a construct, a social construct of social engineering, cooked up by European scientists, one of them being Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. He's one of the many European hybrid scientists that constructed the social engineering term Indian. Indian was substituted for Moor in 1621. And you think that you an Indian? You think You think that you an Indian? Don't you see what Trump out here showing y'all? Trump out here letting y'all know, like, that whole birthright citizenship, that shit cap. He's showing us what it is for the people that don't know what's going on. You're not an Indian. You're not an American Indian. That's a social construct, fam. You're a Moorish American. Think about it. This land ain't called India. India is over there in Asia. You don't live in India. So how could you be an Indian if you don't live in India? And if you was Indian, if you really was Indian, then why didn't give your ass a ticket to fly back to India over there in Asia? Why didn't give you a ticket yet? Wake up, Moors, because you're not Indian. You're a Moorish American that's from the Americas. Just like, why didn't give y'all ass a ticket to go back to Africa if our ancestors allegedly got kidnapped from over there? Come on, fam. Come on, fam. We just finna cook. We just finna cook. Just finna cook, fam. That's it. Ain't nothing else. It says, as we search for further ascent, we find in the Oxford English Dictionary, volume 6, 1933, more in English usage is thus defined, beginning with the first 7 forms. Look at the spelling. More. Look at the spelling. More. Look at the spelling. More. 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 7 times you got more in the 1933 Oxford English Dictionary. Stop playing. Says, now with initial capital, Middle English, more in French. Look, you got English more and you got French more. Same spelling. 2 different languages with the same spelling. Man, stop playing. It says 13th century, more. Adverb, classical Latin, morus. Medieval vulgar Latin, moros. Greek, moropos. Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian, moro. Middle Dutch, more. Dutch, more. Old High German, look at the spelling, M-O-R. See that? See that right there? You see what's going on? It's the same word over and over and over. And Germany, look at the spelling, M-O-H-R. What? As late as the 17th century, the word more was often used for or in place of Negro. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This book is called The Consecrated Talisman. That's the name of this book right here. The Consecrated Talisman by Prince Uriel Bey. Ether. We on page 160. Do you see that right there? As late as the 17th century, the word more was often used for or in place of Negro, so-called African Americans. We talking about as late as the 17th century. You wasn't called Negro then. You wasn't called black person then. You wasn't called African American then. You were called a Moor. Also, Moor, a Mohammedan. See that? A Mohammedan inhabitant of India. Hold up. Our evolutionary investigation concerning the English usage of the word name Moor continues with Funk and Wagnall's New Standard Encyclopedia of Universal Knowledge, newly revised. We talk about newly revised 1948. See this right here? It says page 368. And the Old High German plural for Moors being Mori, the surname of the lords of Chaosu in Japan. Wow. You talking about the lords in Japan. Indisputable evidence. We talking about indisputable receipts. So the next time they're out here woofing, yapping, talking about some Indians and Native Americans, just pull up this video and just send this video to them out there that's stuck in the cognitive dissonance of thinking that they're an Indian. Just send this video to them. That's all you got to do. Look. Send this video to them. Peace. And what it say right here? It say what? It says the chief of the clan was foremost in the anti-foreign agitation which sought to close Japan again to the world. 1853. After the demand for admission by Commodore Perry, in 1863, he became known through his action in firing upon Dutch and Euro-American merchants passing through the Straits of Shimoneski. In consequence, the town of Shimoneski was bombarded. You see? See that? See what we're talking about? It says, so what does all this mean in relation to Moorish Americans? What does all this mean? It said this. It says, if we were to truly understand the serious Mohammedan blood tie and its geopolitical significance in the lawful matter of national identification, we must therefore give a due preponderance of the empirical evidence thus gathered in our scientific investigation and linguistic analysis of the English usage of Moor, and affixly that Mohammedan and Moor are irrefutably synonymous in meaning, accordingly providing the sound legal basis for a national distinction between those persons of Mohammedan countries, lands, who are in fact Mohammedan Moor. But sadly, for one of a million reasons, results being that these same persons are by name, as earlier demonstrated, subjects of those lands. They're talking about our people not realizing when you misidentify as a so-called black person, you become a subject thereof to the U.S. corporation, which means you agree to be a second-class citizen. And why would you want to be, you go from first class to second class. And that's how police are able to shoot, murder our people in broad daylight on the street, do all kind of crazy shit, police terrorism to our people, and they never get consequences. They never go to jail. They never get the death penalty. Because when you say you a black man or a black woman, you agreeing out your own mouth and consent. You don't care about first class citizenship. You're a second class citizen. This is why they don't teach the Constitution to our people in school, to keep our people deaf, dumb, and blind. Let's go. So it say, but as stated, they are nonetheless Moors of Moorish lands. Hence, by what this means for Moorish Americans in a general sense, corresponding to the English usage, is that those Moorish Mohammedan governments of Moorish lands who have engaged in international relations in the United States by treaty still enforce, be it peace treaty, peace and friendship, general commerce, income tax, treaties, etc., making treaty provisions for various immunities, exemptions. See that? Like of would be foreign nationals, Bangladeshian, Cameroonian, Egyptian, Jordanian, Iranian, Lebanese, Saudi Arabian, Mauritanian, Syrian, are of many of the treaties themselves expressly identify these people as Mohammedan or Moors. Bing fucking bong. So when you say identifying as a Moor ain't gonna do nothing and change nothing, you protected by international law by claiming to be a Muslim, Moorish American. You're protected by the planet. But if you identify as a black woman or Indian or a black man, you signing up to be mistreated around the planet. Damn. There go that timer though. I hope y'all got something from this beam out. Much love for y'all tuning in. Much love for y'all sharing it out. Study, study, study. Teach your children. Because the children really is the future. A Muslim is the divine will of the divine will of Allah. That's what you want to be. Be yourself. Peace, Morris.